What's up, everybody, and welcome to the newest edition of the Bronx Muchachos podcast, brought to you by 5 Reasons Sports Network. I'm your host, Mark, and tonight we got a crew with us. We got Alex.
Hello, 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 everybody.
We got Danny.
What's good, everybody?
We got David.
What's going on, everybody?
And we got a special guest, Derek from NYYRECAPS. Derek, thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate it. All right, everybody, you know the drill. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, review, like, do all that fun stuff. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon. Don't forget to hit the like button below on YouTube and subscribe to the 5 Reasons Network. And for anything else, any of our merchandise and for any of our deals, always go to link.tree/Real Bronx Muchachos. So, Derek, we got big news tonight, boy.
You picked a good time to go live. I'll tell you what, after all the waiting, it was just like they just drop it on us. All right, let's go.
All right, 6 years, $162 million. Carlos Rodon is with us for the next 6 years, backing up Cole, backing up everybody. And you know what? I think it's, besides everyone knowing it's a great deal, it gives Cole that guy that's going to push him. And I think and everyone said that's what he needs. That's exactly what he needed. So, boys, take it away. Derek, you first.
I think it takes some pressure off of him for sure. You know, another power pitcher and a lefty who really hammers away at lefties. You know, that gives them an advantage in Yankee Stadium. A tough lefty in Yankee Stadium is never a bad thing. David Wells, Whitey Ford, Andy Pettit, you go years and years, even Nestor Cortez last season. So I think this is a fantastic move. And Max Goodman just tweeted something that I think was great. 2.16 career ERA in Yankee Stadium in 4 games. 7 games versus Houston, 1.55 career ERA.
You can't go wrong with that at all.
Yeah.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, Derek. Go ahead, man.
I was gonna say, yeah, this was the obvious move. The last big starting pitcher to come off the board.
And to your point with the lefties, Ron Guidry too, right?
Oh, yeah.
Gator, right? You know, just a long line of great lefties from like the 70s to now. And Carlos Rodon, CC Sabathia, we can't forget about him either. He got that $1 million more. Well, Rodon got that $1 million more than CC on this contract. And man, we needed Rodon. And this rotation is arguably the best in baseball, 1 through 5. If Montas could be what he did in Oakland, if Nestor could repeat anything similar to what he did in this past season, in a full season from Sevy, another season removed from Tommy John, you slide him into that 3 spot. Man, this rotation is going to be tough to beat on a nightly basis.
Yes, Danny, you are right. 3 words: stacked as hell. Like, let's just be straight up on that one, okay? We've always heard of the Bronx Bombers and Murderers Row. Well, I feel bad for people who have to go after this pitching staff because this pitching staff,
absolutely.
I think this is more like the Andes Creek right now. Yeah, you're not gonna get by the river Styx.
I'm anxious to see what Montas can do next year. I have to admit, I've never watched you guys before. I was pleased to get your invitation. I will start watching you. What was the general consensus about Montas this summer?
Well, Danny wanted him really bad. The rest of us really didn't want anything to do with him because of the shoulder injury. But Danny was on the Montas bandwagon from day one and would not get off that soapbox
You're
throughout the rest
wrong.
of the second half.
You're completely wrong because I want to.
No, I don't think I am. Roll the tape.
I want it.
Roll the tape.
And we will. And I wanted Luis Castillo from the jump. Mark and I had this conversation back in 2018. So Castillo was
you were
always
so
number 1,
on the
and
Montas bandwagon.
Well, yeah, because
You were the defender of Montas. Every time I would say something bad about the guy, you would be there at his defense, like defending Aaron Boone, as you always do.
Because you're still crying about Waldichuk, so I had to bring something positive to the podcast. All right.
I'm sorry I asked that question. Some people just want to watch the world burn.
For real. For real.
Derek, I'll get you some popcorn in a minute, all right, brother?
I'm like the Michael Jackson.
Don't worry, we got more of this where that came from.
But also to our viewers, Frankie, you are right all the way. You are right on all your comments that you're saying. Okay, let's go. Roll down and best rotation at baseball. You, sir, are correct.
No, and Derek, to your point, Montas, I don't think we got the best of Montas. He was in, like you said, everyone said, he was injured coming into the season last year. He never really got over that injury. The death of it, I think, was his mother or mother-in-law that died right before we got him.
Mother-in-law
threw him off too. So, I mean, figure this: he's going to be the number 5 guy in this rotation. Just think of that, and he's got the stuff of an ace. So think of this: you go Cole to Rodon to Sevy, then you go over to Nestor, and then finish off with Montas.
Yes, sir.
All those guys can go 6+ innings, and that'll save that bullpen for the postseason, and that'll give everybody heartaches and heart attacks going through when everyone goes through that rotation. I mean, this is like you said, this is what was needed. This now gives Montas a reason to really push himself forward and make sure he's back on track. I don't see any downside to any of this, and I don't see a downside to Montas right now. Especially, even if he implodes this year, he's here for 1 year. That's it. So you can handle the 1 year of him possibly being bad.
Yeah, I mean, I worry about the shoulder. I worried about the shoulder before the trade. I've known a lot of people with shoulder injuries, and I've had shoulder injuries myself. And any orthopedic surgeon or someone who deals with arms with pitchers will tell you that we've got the elbow pretty much figured out, but the shoulder's still kind of a mystery. And some of those injuries can just linger and linger and linger if you don't have surgery. And if you do have surgery, you're almost never the same. So you just kind of have to hope that he heals. And for Montas, if I were him, I would have just rested it this winter. Don't throw, don't do a lot of intense weight training, just rest it and heal up. Contract year, go in there fresh and just see what you got.
And another point, Montas, even at a mediocre Montas, he's better than most fifth starters in all of baseball.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting dudes from AAA, quadruple A pitchers who are fighting their way to stay on the roster in the fifth spot. You have Frankie Montas, who's an all-star, who led a playoff team in Oakland. Like, this dude is a stud, and he's been a stud. We just didn't get to see the best of him this year, and he's gonna prove all you guys wrong. So
I mean, as all the trash that we all would have said about Montas throughout the season, let's be real about it. Out of 25 other teams out there, would put him as their number 1. Let's be real. Okay, so I'll take it. Of us being those 5 teams, of the 30 teams in MLB, being the 5 that we got to put him in number 5. I'll take it, because if everybody else, he'll be number 1.
I'll put it this way: he, as the number 5 man in the rotation, right now he wouldn't even pitch in a playoff series. He wouldn't start a game. So facing off against the Astros now, it's Cole, Rodon, Cortez, Severino. I tell you what, you add a decent bat. Look, you got a pretty good shot.
So let's talk on that. What bat are you? What do you think the final piece is?
Oh man, so I mean, in my offseason blueprint, I kind of advocated for re-signing Andrew Benintendi. I like lefties. I like contact hitters just in this lineup. I
don't see that happening right now after what Boston did.
Right. I'm kind of thinking that the big mystery move that they're working on could involve a corner outfielder. I would like to get Brian Reynolds, but I don't want to have to give up Jason Dominguez or Anthony Volpe, one of those guys. I don't think that Pittsburgh necessarily wants Volpe or Peraza because they've got a great shortstop in O'Neal Cruz already, but they're definitely going to want Dominguez, right? I mean, you're trading your superstar center fielder. You can tell your fans, hey, we got a 20-year-old kid who's going to be ready next year probably, or the year after, probably next year in Pittsburgh, let's be honest, who's a switch hitter, who's marketable as hell. He's a good kid, nicknamed the Martian, fun nickname. Can't tell me you're not going to have like an alien bobblehead night. So I think it would be somebody they would ask for, and I'm just hesitant to deal him. I could see them trying to trade for somebody that's got 1 year left on their deal as an outfielder. just to kind of get you to that point where Dominguez comes up. So, that's why I keep going to Shohei Ohtani. He's athletic enough to play left field when he's not pitching. He can give days off and DH and let Stanton go out there and play left. And he adds to your rotation. You can ship off Montas, and then you have 5 legitimate ace-type pitchers in the rotation. That's just my big move speculation, what I'm hoping for.
Okay, I got you, Dave. What do you think the final piece is?
Man, that's a tough one. Personally, I like to see them bring back Benintendi, but if his heart's really not in coming back to New York, it's kind of a moot point. No disrespect to Brian Reynolds. I know he's a great out. I'm kind of getting sick and tired of hearing the guy's name. He's not coming here. Pittsburgh's not going to trade him. And if they do trade him, they're going to ask for an insane haul that just would not be worth it. I'm sorry. I'm not giving up the likes of Anthony Volpe, Jason Domingue, Austin Wells for Brian Reynolds. You already have legitimate center fielder in Harrison Bader. Just find a decent to above average person that's athletic enough that can play left field and just plug that hole. I would rather them just put Oswaldo Cabrera in left field and just be done with it. But he fills so many more vital roles on the field that's kind of doing him a disservice, just keeping him at one position when he can play left, right, short, third, first, and second. And the rumor going around is that he's back home in Venezuela working on becoming an emergency catcher. So, those are the 2 ways I'd go with it. I don't want Max Kepler here. He's no better than Aaron Hicks. And in fact, probably worse than Aaron Hicks offensively. So I don't want to see that happen either. So, and I really don't want to see Tatis Jr. either. So that's where I'm at with it.
I don't think Tatis is real. I think that was just one of those internet things that got blown up out of proportion,
That
yeah,
was
maybe it
Twitter
did. Maybe
doing
it
what
didn't.
Yankee does best.
They were talking about San Diego wanting all of our top 10 prospects. And it's like, no, dude, you made that deal. You made that bed. You sleep in it and you deal with the fallout from this guy acting like an idiot.
All right, Alex, what do you think about the final piece for the Yankees?
It's hard. It's really hard because for a while I was thinking maybe some sort of crazy thing with Christian Yelich, but then I started looking at the numbers and everything like that. And then even from watching Derek's show earlier when he even brought the numbers on his live show and everything, it's not really the right move to make either. So I really don't know. I'm not sure what this quote unquote big move is going to be, but whatever it is, I'm gonna sit back and relax and wait till it happens.
What about you, Danny? What do you think it is?
Well, I think Benintendi is the guy in left field, but like Dave mentioned earlier, it has to be a mutual thing there. A really super interesting move would be trying to acquire a guy like Luis Arraez from Minnesota, put him at second, and just let him eat at the top of the order. And maybe acquiring a Benintendi as well. We already know that Gleyber is kind of on the block just based on him recouping his value. Maybe we could rely less on Donaldson at third, and maybe we could have DJ become more of that everyday third baseman by putting Arraez at second. Maybe Arraez could play some third. He's athletic enough to play first base, but I would love to see a Luis Arraez in pinstripes playing second base. And you guys know how much I love Gleyber, but I think Arraez at the top of the lineup, being a lefty bat, would be like, man, that'll be huge.
All right, we got Bio Silk saying that he'll go get Ian Happ from the Cubs, and Frankie Baseball, who's been all over Twitter, all over our YouTube today, he's saying that Tatis to the Yankees would destroy Twitter.
He's not wrong.
No, he's not wrong about that.
He's not wrong.
But don't forget,
that.
but don't forget, he also wants us to bring Brett Gardner back. So
Yes,
I don't know. I don't know now about
God.
you, Frankie. I don't know. I'm thinking.
No.
I'm starting to be on the
Look,
fence on you, brother.
Let me advocate for
R.I.P., my
Frankie
dude.
here.
No.
Frankie is an expert troll. I think he's a contributor. He's my highlights guy for my YouTube channel. So I'm fairly certain that Frankie's trolling us right there. And if not,
Oh, no,
Frankie,
I
we're gonna
know.
have to
I
have a
know.
little
He was
talk.
joking. We kind of figured. We kind of figured you were joking, my man.
Get at it, bud.
I like the.
Gardner
I will say.
ship sailed a long time ago.
Oh yeah.
Benintendi's got to be the move. I mean, he doesn't cost you any prospects. You know, if you can get him without a no trade clause, then you can move him. When one of these kids is ready. My thought is Bader is signed through next year, but he was so good last year that the Yankees essentially they don't want to be forced to choose between keeping Bader or keeping Benintendi. So they're kind of making that decision right now, I think. And if they do sign Benintendi, that allows you to package Dominguez in some kind of another move. It wouldn't end up being probably for Reynolds, but what happens if you package Dominguez and Glaber and what can you really get? I mean, how can you improve this team in another way?
Basically,
well, the thing about
you're saying. Oh, go ahead.
The thing that scares me about Benintendi is look at the contract that Brandon Nimmo got. 8 years, $160-something million. And then before that contract came out, Benintendi was requesting a $100 million 5 to 6 year deal. Now, my concern with Nimmo getting the deal that he did is that it's going to increase Benintendi's asking price up at least $20 to $30 million. And I'm sorry, Andrew Benintendi is a good outfielder, but he's not worth 130, 125 million. No way.
You're right.
Yeah, Yankees probably just being creative. That's kind of why I think the big mystery move is going to be a trade for a left fielder and looking for somebody who's got 1 year, maybe 2 max on their deal, maybe a year and then a second year where they might consider dealing them. There's been some names from Arizona that were brought up. I can't remember, it was Veshko or McCarthy.
Varsho. McCarthy I keep hearing too.
Yeah. That's believable. That's believable to me.
Well, Houston's already interested in Varsho. So if Houston's interested in a player, if I'm Brian Cashman, I'm also calling Arizona and saying like, hey man, what can we do to make a deal to get this guy, in pinstripes rather than over in Houston. So Varsho, we spoke about him last week, but he's a super athletic dude, plays left, backup catcher type of dude, hit 27 homers, left-handed bat. I wouldn't mind seeing him in left field for the Yankees, but the asking price for the Astros was steep. Maybe with the Yankee tax is probably going to be a little bit steeper. So
4.9 WAR. 4.9 WAR. That's pretty good, but 235 average. That'll probably go up if you ban the shift, which is going to happen. So you got to figure 250, 260 with 30 home runs. That's not too bad.
Oh, and in that lineup, the RBIs are going to go through the roof as well.
As a lefty, too, the Yankees don't have enough, really fearsome left-handed sluggers.
Yeah. But imagine a lineup with Arise at the top. If the Yankees go down the Varsho route, put them at the bottom of the order, split up the righties at the bottom between Bader, Trevino, put Varsho right there in the middle of that. Arise at the top, Rizzo hitting third. Oh, man, that's a really good lineup.
Would you guys be disappointed if the Yankees signed Benintendi but gave him 3 years at, $90 million, get like a massive amount, but a short term? Because he's not going to get $30 million per over 6-7 years. But if you really blow him away with that AAV and say, hey, go be a free agent again when you're 32, but give us 3 years, I could see the Yankees maybe doing that.
I mean, that if you look at the industry, look at what they've done, what the Mets have done with Verlander and Scherzer back-to-back years. Teams are really gearing towards that short-term deal with a high AAV. And I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to it. 30 million, yeah, that's a huge number. But if it keeps him in pinstripes and we win a World Series, what does it matter? It's not my money. I'll spend that money. He's already proved this offseason, that he's willing to spend. So if he could do that with Benny to keep him in the lineup and provide that versatility, I'm cool with it.
The other thing is that, depending who else is vying for Benintendi, the Yankees might be his best shot to win next year. It might be one of those things where he signs a long-term contract but has an opt-out after 1 year with every intention to use it.
the opt-outs it makes that kind of contract a more intriguing portion, because I truly believe that the Yankees are keeping they're going to keep one of those outfield positions open with the full intention of bringing Dominguez up next year, or giving him a cup of coffee in September, and then have him playing either center field or left field come opening day 2024. That's my thoughts. And then not having somebody long term also to bring up a Spencer Jones in 2025, outside chance 2026. I think Spencer Jones is kind of a fast riser, and I think that you're going to have an outfield of Judge staying permanently in right. Then you got Jones and Dominguez flip flopping center and left field. So I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on from there. So, and you know, with a lot of contracts going higher, you bring some younger guys in to kind of offset that. Get some more, get your Perazzas, get your Volpes playing. You know, get Dominguez, get Spencer Jones, get some other guys, and you know, you have. I think going back to what we were saying, the big move. I think there's some sort of three team deal coming in, where Hicks goes out the door, possibly, and Hickson probably like an IKF or somebody, or even a Torres, they go out the door, and we get a left fielder in for a short term period of time, or I keep hearing Conforto possibly 2 years, about $20 million, something short like that kind of fits into that window of what they're looking to do.
I'd give Conforto a 2-year deal.
It's not bad. It's kind of like the Bellinger, like, you know, show me deal, like prove your worth again, kind of just get moving again, show that you can hit, show that you can do everything, especially now, a year after the shoulder surgery, year after sitting out, and then showing that you can play now in left field and that the shift is not going to affect you at all.
How old is Conforto?
He's what, 20,
He's like
29, something like that?
He is 29 years, 289. So he'll be 30 in March. So yeah, I mean, if he would be willing to take a 2-year deal, he'd still be a free agent at 31. He could still get a 5-year deal if he plays well.
my thing with Conforto, like, I'm not sure how I feel about him defensively in left in Yankee Stadium.
Fair.
Like, I just, he's kind of like, he was decent for the Mets in right field, but he came up as like a corner outfielder playing center and right. Like left field in Yankee Stadium, that's a huge adjustment for anybody. So that'll be my only concern. But I do think that we need left-handed bats with power that can hit for contact. And Conforto's hit his entire life. That's all he's done since he stepped onto a baseball field. At Oregon State, he was a monster. And for the Mets, man, he had a pretty good year. Well, a couple good years.
Sure did.
So our chat, we got a lot of people jumping in here. We got Dr. Hitskin saying he likes the idea of trading for some of the Twins outfielders, Gordon, Kirilloff, and Kepler for Torres, IKF, Hicks, and doing something along the lines of adding Schmidt to the deal. Brian Melendez talking
I'm all
about
done with
Varsho,
taking on
State.
Twins outfielders. I'm all done with Twins outfielders, bro. All done.
Melendez,
And
Brian,
pitchers.
yeah,
And
there's a
shortstops and third baseman as well.
You're 86 in all of the Twins, huh? nobody from the Twins.
I am. Nope.
All right, you got Brian Melendez going. Varsho at Yankee Stadium was damaged. Can catch and play the outfield. Jurickson Profar. That's another name. That's a Cashman guy Cashman always is trying to get Jurickson Profar. Switch hitter, playing left field. I don't think he's going to cost a whole lot either. It's not that I can see I can see him kind of pulling that deal.
Yeah, Profar, he hit 15 home runs last year. I think he hit about 240, 250, but he's athletic. He's one of those guys that Cashman has loved since he was a prospect. Every time that somebody's thinking about trading Profar, the Yankees are always in on him. So the fact that he's sitting out there for money, 3.1 WAR, maybe you could get him for 1 year. I doubt it, but he's an intriguing possibility.
You could give him the 2 year with the opt out after the first year. Let him reestablish his value. I mean,
2 years.
What I like about him, he can also play the
Call it
infield
good.
too, like in a pinch. If you need to move him, if you need a second baseman, if somebody gets kicked out of the game or something, and you're You need to shift around creatively. He can play second base and he can play shortstop.
Wasn't he
All that
the
versatility.
Texas Rangers shortstop before Elvis Andrews?
Yeah, he was a top prospect at shortstop.
Then he got shipped over to the A's.
Yep.
And then moved down. Then from the A's, he went down to San Diego. But yeah, I like that one by Brian. Your boy Frankie said he would trade Hicks for a piece of gum.
I love it.
Frankie's Frankie's overpaying because I would actually pay him for rocks.
Dude, Frankie needs to be a regular in our chat every week, man. This guy is hilarious.
Is the gum chewed?
Yeah, I was gonna say I'd trade him for a chewed piece of gum.
Hey, what about bringing Carpenter, him in left field? Why is no one talking about this?
I think Carpenter's days in the outfield are kind of are done. I mean, he kind of caught lightning in a bottle last year. I think that's me personally. You know, that lefty swing at Yankee Stadium is still going to play the bat wise, but I mean, he's a bench player.
Just I can see him coming back, but not as a starting outfielder, but as a in the role he was last year, where he's essentially a occasional outfielder, occasional third baseman, possibly come in and pinch hit. But I think just because the numbers he put up last year, he should be able to get a starting job somewhere.
Or you could DH.
I think the Red Sox are interested in him.
Could put him at DH and put Stanton in left field. I mean, that's an option.
Stanton plays better when he plays left field or when he plays the outfield in general. Didn't look bad out there in the playoffs, but I just worry about his legs. I just worry about playing him every day out there.
Yeah, that's true.
The most I ever want to play Giancarlo on left is and this is at max, absolute most is 40 games. And you're already not going to get 140 from Giancarlo. Everybody knows that. At most, you're going to get 120. Right, in a good year, 130, but man, that I don't feel comfortable putting Giancarlo on left full time at all.
No, I agree. I think that kind of ship sailed with him for a little while, just because of all the time he spent as the DH. So I mean, that's a tough call to bring him back in there.
Then we got Dr. Hitskin saying Benny will be too expensive. Yanks lack real MLB ready outfield depth. Yeah, true.
No, I don't know because they got plenty. If you look at the Yankees AA system, they have guys that are ready. I mean, between Pereira, Dominguez, you got Lockridge still there, and you got Elijah Dunham, and Elijah Dunham I think is a big sleeper. A lot of guys.
Yeah, but none of these guys are major league ready, though.
Well,
I think that's what this dude is making a reference to. Yeah. There's nobody that's major league ready.
There's nobody ready opening day, but I think by August, really, one or two of these guys could be ready by August. If you're willing.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That's why I think maybe the stopgap this year is in left field, but. If you're doing that, if you're bringing in just kind of look, left field has always been a hole for the Yankees. Even the 98 Yankees, it was Spencer and Leday and Strawberry. It was just a rotation of guys. Wouldn't be opposed to doing that this year. A mix of Carpenter, definitely not Hicks. But if you're going to go with the stopgap option in left field and just wait for one of these prospects to get ready, then you've got to upgrade the offense somewhere else. Most likely spot is third base because you're going to go with a kid at shortstop. Sounds like you're probably going to go with a kid eventually at second base, the Volpe and Peraza situation. But I could definitely see them going with just kind of a patchwork type of scenario.
And then Frankie Baseball, the only association I want with the Twins is sweeping them in the ALDS.
Oh, Frankie. Frankie's a good Twitter follow. Yeah.
I mean, he's spitting facts. That's all he's doing.
That's true.
Except for Brett Gardner. That's just a old moment right there.
And the last one we got, can we?
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, the last one we got. Can we think of anyone who needs a third baseman badly enough to take Donaldson? He is. I think we're stuck with him. Unfortunately,
I'm looking around. I don't see nothing. I'm like, man. I was like, Is
California Penal League.
Yeah.
Send him back to Savannah Bananas.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, with Rendon always getting injured out in Anaheim, I mean, they might as well take a flyer on him.
Well, then give us.
Well, they just got Urshela from the Twins.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but he's playing shortstop, but he's going to play shortstop.
Trade Donaldson to
Donaldson to
Japan.
Oh man, you know what?
Only.
You know what? We're putting all like hypothetical. Let's just have some fun. It's not my money anymore. Big old move. What it's gonna be? Mike Trout. There, done. We'll put him in left field.
A 1-for-1, right?
Sure.
Right, Alex?
1-for-1.
Yeah, 1-for-1 swap.
Just move the contracts.
Let me ask you guys this. So the Angels are selling the organization. If you're if you're somebody who's buying, put yourself in the shoes of a multi-billionaire, easy to do, but imagine you're buying the team.
I play that on the weekends.
Do you want them to lock up Ohtani? Because then you've got, Trout. You've got Trout locked up. You've got Rendon locked up. That would be Ohtani locked up. I mean, that's a lot of money committed to three guys. I might actually prefer, if I'm buying that team, that they deal Ohtani or deal Trout. I doubt they're going to deal Trout. He's a fixture there, but Ohtani for as many prospects as you can get to give me a good system to work with as I begin my new ownership. Just something to think about.
It is, but then you got to go to those systems that have the top kind of prospects around, and who offhand I'm trying to remember who some of them are, because I know the Rays have lost some of those guys. Yankees are still in the middle with their guys. The
Baltimore.
Baltimore, yeah, but Baltimore's going to be graduating a lot of those guys. Baltimore's going to be graduating them.
Ready dudes. Gunnar Henderson, DL Hall, Grayson Rodriguez. Imagine those three just headlining a deal for Ohtani. And also all three of those deals
Cincinnati's got guys too. Cincinnati just got a bunch of guys from Seattle as well.
Yep.
So I mean,
my thought on Ohtani is it's going to take a multi-team trade to pull that off. It's going to take at least 2 to 3 teams to get that deal done.
You're essentially trading for one of the best hitters and one of the best pitchers in the league, and they're the same player. So it's like trading for 2 amazing players at once. So it's a package of 6 or 7 prospects, probably a couple of major league players. It's one of those things where it's just almost too complex. And that's why when they keep saying we're working on something even bigger than Rodon, we're working on something crazy, I'm thinking, just how crazy, right? Is this something the Yankees could possibly pull off? Because I'll tell you what, Ohtani in left field and as part of your rotation, figure out a way to work Montas in there. Maybe Glaber goes in the deal. You'd probably have to deal one of your top prospects like Dominguez. But if you bring back Ohtani, that's the one I'm dreaming on.
I mean, I get you, but I don't know.
I'm dreaming.
It's a big dream right there on that one.
Yeah.
Because I don't see
dreaming at that.
Yeah.
Dreaming on that recreational over there.
What about Dodgers could be in on Ohtani. He's already big in LA, and they've lost some players. They've got the payroll to sign him.
I think they're waiting for him to become a free agent. I think Ohtani's going to. I think no matter what happens with Ohtani, he's going to free agency, and I think the Dodgers is going to come in there with the blank check for him.
Yeah, I agree.
Like 10-450 for Ohtani. Like I'm not even. That's like baseline just starting. Yeah. Not even close to be the.
They're projecting him to make $600 million.
Think about it this way.
Wow.
What would he get if he was just a pitcher, and what would he get if he was just a hitter? So he's not quite on Judge's level, so he's not going to get $40 million offensively, but he could probably, if you factor in inflation and factor in, just a
year's inflation on that point.
Yeah. Let's say he gets $38 million just offensively. Now, what's he going to get as a pitcher, who is one of the top pitchers in the league? He's already got his Tommy John out of the way. He's still excellent. He got better last year. Mm-hmm. You're talking another 25 to 30 million. This is a guy who could get 50 to 60 million in value per year. You're talking 10 years, 500 million as a starting point if I'm Ohtani.
It's so fun.
And you're only talking very few teams that are going to talk to him. That
doesn't even factor in the revenue he brings in from overseas.
I'm going to say, right. Derek, you know what you're bringing right now? If I'm Judge, I'm happy I went this year and not next year, because oh my gosh, that's going to be
absolutely
insane.
I'm thinking next year now.
And looking at Frank Baseballs.
You think the Red Sox are going to make a? I think that's the Red Sox movement. They're going to make. They're going to make that play. That's why they're getting rid of. They're breaking it all down to go big move for Ohtani.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't think they have the prospects to get him. And they
I mean next year.
To sign him. Yeah, I could see them signing him for sure. But again, he's a guy who could have played on the East Coast, and he chose not to. I don't think he's going to sign with the Yanks. But if you had a chance to trade for him for 1 year, imagine.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe Stevie Cohen's going to come up and drop the 600 on him.
Okay, if that were to happen for the 1 year, it would be interesting because it could also give Ohtani the chance to bet he will be in the East Coast, feel like what it's like to be in the East Coast. Maybe he likes the East Coast and is like, you know what? I want to be a Yankee. Or then he'll be like, forget this junk. Let me go back to California and relax.
His swing is made for Yankee Stadium.
It is.
Forget about him as a pitcher. He's an excellent pitcher. He's, I'd be comfortable starting him game 1 of a playoff series. But he also would probably hit 45 to 50 home runs as a Yankee. Like, Yankee Stadium. I mean, how many home runs did he hit in that one series that he played against the Yankees? His first, it seemed like he hit 5 home runs in 3 games or something like that.
Yeah, he's nasty. And just think about all the clubs in like the AL East. Like he could rake in all of them. There's not one ballpark that you're like, yeah. Well, I guess not Baltimore now with like the left field like 200 feet away. But in the AL East, Ohtani, oh my God, that's pretty ridiculous.
Be bonkers. Yeah, I don't want to get everybody's hopes up. It's just kind of. It's my fantasy that I've been putting myself to sleep with, dreaming about it, thinking about it so that I can dream about it.
It's a pretty good fantasy. It's not a bad one.
You got Ohtani's number picked out too and everything?
Well, what's he wear with the Angels?
No.
17. I think that's Aaron Boone's number. So would Aaron Boone give up?
Just give it to him.
Would Aaron Boone give up? I think he would.
He doesn't wear his jersey, so what does it matter?
One thing I miss about Girardi is he used to wear the championship title that they're going for. That was like their mission. He wore it on his back. Like that was such a cool little flair that nobody else has done. I miss that.
Yeah. 28. That was pretty dope. Yeah, no, that was
just
awesome.
Reminding everybody what the mission was.
I forgot he actually did that.
Oh yeah. Well, he only had 27 for the 2 seasons.
Then he had 28 forever.
Yeah.
Well, it seems like forever now.
Yeah.
All right, Dave, go for it, buddy.
And then looking at Frankie Baseball's comment about hoping Ohtani gets traded, too good to have his prime wasted away like Trout. Listen, let's get one thing straight about Mike Trout. No one forced Mike Trout to sign that contract with the Anaheim Angels.
You did.
Nobody put a gun to his head and forced him to sign that contract for that $420 million. So I do not feel bad for Mike Trout that he has half of his career playing in Los Angeles for the Angels for an owner that didn't want to put a contending team on the field. I don't feel bad for him at all. I just don't.
Really? And Mike Trout and $420 million of his dollars don't feel bad either. He's chilling, yo. He lives in Southern California, which is like the best weather, and he's got $420 million in the bank. Mike Trout don't care about the playoffs.
Mike Trout wants to win.
No, Mike Trout wants the regular season to be done as quick as possible so that way he can relax with all the beautiful women around him in his pool.
He's married. He got kids.
No. The wife is out. The wife is out of town already. She don't care no more. That's right there. That's like sister wives going on over there.
You watch way too much reality TV, man.
Hey man, I'm a married man over now. Okay, come on, man. I'm a married man with kids. I got baseball or that now.
Well, throwing it back to Paulie earlier was saying there wasn't there talk of shipping Donaldson with a prospect to offset his salary last week, and there's always that's always been the thing. It's either that for Donaldson, it's either to eat at least half the contract, or to put the sweeteners in and give a top end prospect to go along with it. And honestly, I don't. For me personally, I'm going to swing it to everybody else. I don't want to give up Donaldson and like a Dominguez and a Wells. Maybe Wells. I'm still flip flopping on. I always flip flop on Wells because I don't see him as a catcher, but that's a me thing.
If the cost to unload Josh Donaldson was Austin Wells, I'd be fine, but I wouldn't give up a Dominguez. You don't give up a top 5 prospect to unload a contract, but you can give up a number 6, a number 7, a number 8 if it's a big contract. I mean, $25 million. What I would ask for is for somebody to eat half of that, 10, 12 million, and take, a number 13 to number 14 prospect, something like that. I think that's a fair deal.
I could see that.
I got like Trey Sweeney, who, I'm big on Trey Sweeney, and I think he will provide like some real good trade value. He's playing shortstop now, sweet left-handed swing, but you can project him at third or first. I don't think he's going to stay at short. But put him along with a Donaldson, who knows what we could get back. Maybe we could get our left fielder at that point in time. Maybe we could get another middle infielder. But I want to see Hicks out of here, and I want to see what Cashman could do to get him packing. Because obviously, like, we're talking about left field so much. The Yankees are talking about left field so much. They don't see Aaron Hicks in the future whatsoever, and he's still here for another 3 years at $30 million. Like,
yeah, but
the one team that I thought would even be interested was Milwaukee, but then they got rid of Renfroe, and then they made a couple of other additions. They just got Williams Contreras, and they got rid of Colton Wong. So they're kind of in that weird spot. Yeah. So I don't know who would even take that on for Hicks.
St. Louis. Doesn't St. Louis need that?
Maybe the Rays.
Rays are not spending $30 million on Aaron Hicks. They're an analytical team.
If you need 10 million, if you need 10 million of it, if you need a third of that contract, I'm sure they'll take it.
You know what? Just trade with Boston. Trade with Boston. Boston doesn't care anymore.
If the Yankees ate $5 million per year
they don't
Aaron Hicks for the life of that contract, $5 million per year, 3 years, $15 million is more than reasonable for a switch hitter who can still play a little bit of defense, has a little bit of power, and may bounce back, gets on base. I could see anybody. I could see I could see the Oakland Athletics taking him at that price. $5 million for somebody who is an experienced veteran is not a lot.
Trade with the Athletics. I think everyone. No. I think a lot of people, we still have a little PTSD with trading with the Athletics.
But yeah, you don't need to get anything real big in return. It's really a salary dump.
Yeah, it's an interesting concept, but yeah, half of that would definitely, and that's where maybe I'm trying to think of. Maybe it goes back to the Twins, just looking like that. I don't know what they got in their system, or maybe a team like the White Sox. Well, they just got rid of Abreu, so they want to use Eloy Jimenez in that DH role. So,
but the White Sox have a lot of guys coming up. They got Oscar Colas coming up. They already have Luis Roberts out there. They got Yoelqui Cespedes coming through as well. But I think who needs offense. And I know Hicks doesn't provide a whole lot of offense, but enough to deal with is the Marlins. They need offense.
Mm-hmm.
That's why everyone keeps talking about trading with the Marlins, because they're going to have to figure out they got to figure out some way to get more offense, and they have tons of pitching to get rid of.
Sandy Alcantara, man, 1 for 1.
Yeah, he's off the table.
Shake on it now.
He's off the table.
Yeah, Kim Ng, let's go. She's a Yankee. No, I know that. I know, obviously not. I'm joking. That's a complete joke. No one take me serious on that. Sandy Alcantara is not coming to the Yankees.
I get it. I'm picking up what you're throwing down.
All right, it's a joke.
All right, I got a good question for everybody here. I've kind of posed this before. I'll start with Alex on this one. Who do you think the top 6 teams in the AL are right as we speak? Team today. 6 teams.
Okay, we're gonna go. Number 1's gonna still be Houston. Sorry. Okay, number 2, I'll give it to us, Yankees. I mean, we're doing it. We did what we had to do so far. We have to fix something in the infield and a little bit, and that's left field. Yeah, 100%. But other than that, I mean, we're doing good. For the rest, I really don't care. I'm sorry to tell you this right now. I'm like, they're not even in my radar. Everyone else is behind Yankees. Like,
Yeah, I mean the Guardians are going to be better. They were good this year.
Yeah, they are. But
Texas Rangers might be a little bit better. I mean, they got DeGrom, but they still don't have much else. I don't think the White Sox are going to do much. The Rays are always tough, but I think it's going to be Yankees in Houston. I mean, it's going to be us versus them in the ALCS, and they're not going to have Verlander, so.
So I think Cleveland is going to have a really good season, just because of how they play, and because of the rules of next year. So those guys are going to be running wild on the base pass.
I mean,
So
Danny, it's kind of funny when you're bringing up Cleveland and everything like that, because like my big thing will be if you were to do a real big trade, just get Quan from him, take him, trade everything away and get Quan. Then we got our left fielder.
That's not going to happen. But Cleveland's going to be really good.
They're not going to let him go.
I could see something like that. It'll be funny if that's the big thing. If that's the big thing, I said it.
Yeah. Well, cool. But no. Cleveland is really good. Cleveland's going to
Stab me in the heart.
Toronto, but I'll rank them because I think Toronto's still going to be a really good team. Houston will still be number one. Us number two. Cleveland is going to be a very close number three next year. If not, they may overtake us. I'm really big on Cleveland. Toronto, Seattle's still good. Texas could be, flirting a little bit in that ALS because Oakland's going to be terrible. Oakland's going to be so bad. The Central, we don't know what this is going to be of the White Sox. Like Lance Lynn's coming back from injury. Michael Kopech, Dylan Cease, who knows what type of year he's going to have again. Kansas City's in a rebuild. Same thing with Detroit. So that NL Central is still going to be that three-headed monster, but Cleveland's going to come out on top of that. Baltimore is going to be really surprising next year. So I'll just stick to my six. Yankees. Houston, the Yankees, Cleveland, Toronto, Seattle, and I want to throw Baltimore in there because I think they're gonna be knocking on the door. They're better than the Red Sox right now. They're better than those rebuilding teams, everybody else. So Baltimore might be knocking on the door.
And Frankie's right over there. He's saying it. It's going to be another Yankees Astros ALCS, and he's going to denounce his fandom if he gets swept again. I'm with you. I'm with you on that one, Frankie.
Not happen.
If we get swept by the Astros again,
I don't think this time around. There's going to be more deals coming around.
Nah,
I might be burning. I might be doing a jersey burning if that happens.
Tommy Daly said nope. The Yankees now have a better starting rotation than the Astros.
Yeah, that's true. 1 through 5 is.
We have a better starting rotation, but we have a problem that we still need our hitters to hit. That is still the problem. No matter how good our starting rotation is going to be, if we don't have our key players that need to hit in times that they need a hit, it's just going to be the same thing all over again, and I'm going to be pissed off. And we're all going to be pissed off, just like we were in October.
Yeah, we got to put some runs on the board.
Let's be real for a minute. Let's just be real.
David?
Yeah, Dave, your top 6.
So, my top 6. So, I'm going to go with the Yankees, the Astros, Seattle, 4th, Toronto, 5th, Baltimore, and 6th, Cleveland. I think that's how it's going to go.
You have zero hope. You have zero faith in Cleveland. They played us tough in the ALDS.
They took us 5 games.
They played us
I know
really
they
tough.
did.
So I think it's a lot closer than what people think. And with the rule changes, Quan, Ramirez, Rosario, their top 3 in the lineup could all get bags, and it's not even going to be fair, because they're super athletic. I just really like them. Their pitching is really good. Cleveland's going to be really tough.
So Tommy was saying
Cliff next year too. I mean, you just don't know what's going to happen.
That's why we talk sports and we figure it out and talk stuff about it.
And yeah, so Tommy said that Cole Sevy, Rodon, Nessa are number one or two on most teams. Mama Guilfoyle came in there asking Frankie if he still be a fan, and Frankie said that he will, but he'll hate himself. And, but going forward, my top three, or sorry, my top six. I still think the Astros are number one. They're number one till they get knocked off. Yankees 2. Still take. I don't know. I'm riding. I want to ride that. I'm riding the train with Toronto. Toronto's number 3. Cleveland 4. I like Danny. I like what you're saying. Baltimore. I think Baltimore is going to make the move up ahead of the Rays at number 5. But I still think the Rays are up there too. So I'm putting the Rays at 6. So I think the AL East is truly going to be stacked. I think if Baltimore makes one big move, they're gonna push it forward.
Yeah, Baltimore looks good. They look real good in the second half.
Just can they start like the way they were in the second half though? That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like
they played the Yankees tough all year, even in April, May. I went to a game, I think it was April 16th. Yankees won the game, but it was back and forth all day. Oh, yeah, it was tough.
If you could add to that bullpen or even add to the rotation, Grayson Rodriguez, he's a stud. And we better watch out. We're going to hate Grayson Rodriguez. We're going to hate Gunnar Henderson. So those dudes they're coming. They're coming. Maybe they put a guy like DJ Hall or DL Hall in the bullpen. That lefty, he throws 96 to 100. And they're using him as a starter right now. But I see him as a back-end reliever type of dude. So just those 3 pieces right there, Baltimore's going to be really tough.
All right, everybody. That's going to do it for us tonight. Just wanted to say thanks to Derek from NYYRECAPS for coming out and hanging out with us tonight. Dude, it's been such a pleasure and an honor to have you on the show. It's been great. We got to do this again sometime. Please back. You're always welcome here.
Absolutely.
We consider you a friend now. So,
hey, Derek, drop all your stuff where everyone
yes,
can find
where can people find you?
Oh, so yeah, if you just go Google or YouTube NYYRECAPS, that's me. If you go to Twitter, it's at NYYRECAPS Derek. Again, if you just search NYYRECAPS on whatever platform you're on, you'll find it. Also on the on all your podcast platforms, part of the Blue Wire Network.
right.
Awesome. Good deal.
Wonderful.
Everybody hanging out in the chat on YouTube and every other social media platform, we thank you for your interaction. It makes the show a lot better. Everybody listening overseas, we thank you. Check out our link tree for all our deals. Go to the Bronx Muchachos fan store. Use code BM15, get 15% off your order. Happy Carlos Rodon Day to everybody. It's a great day to be a Yankees fan, bringing the big guy to the Bronx. For Mark, Alex, Danny, Derek, myself, Bronx Muchachos, signing off.